Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 9 of the Rebuttal. I am your host, Robby A Shaw, and today I am joined by my good friend, Jonathan Thomas, who I actually met during this coronavirus stuff. And I'm really glad I did because we enjoy talking about so many sports. And today he has agreed to join me to talk about these Dallas Cowboys and Steelers matchup on Sunday in Arlington, Texas.
Right.
Jonathan, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm great, Rob. I'm glad to be finally on here. You asked me about a month ago if I would be on, and I was like, yeah, of course. And I've been excited. Waiting my turn ever since. So finally we're here. It's great. I'm going to enjoy this.
And I appreciate you coming on. I really do. I have a lot of different Cowboys fans that I know, but I was like, Jonathan is going to be perfect for this. So
I don't know about perfect. We'll see. You might, at the end of this, you might go, I didn't turn out the way I thought it would. We'll make it work. So maybe you'll have another Cowboys fan on retainer.
Talking about the Cowboys played the Eagles last week. And as we always do now that I've decided this is what we're going to do, recap the weeks. We are going to recap the game from last week. Jonathan, you did see the game. Can you please recap the Cowboys game for our viewers?
Let's see. It was bad. I will say, and I don't say this to brag, there's a point that I'm going to make. I am a sports reporter. That is my trade. So Sunday night, I was working. So I was paid to watch that game. Even though I'm a Cowboys fan, that's pretty much the only way I would watch that game. And may I add, I wasn't paid that much. Don't get any ideas. But yeah, so that was what helped me get through that game, because that was a rough. It was a terrible football game overall. Okay, but I will say. The shocking thing for me to come out of that game was how bad the Eagles were. You know, I knew the Cowboys were going to be bad. I think the whole nation knew the Cowboys were going to be bad Sunday night against Philly.
Yep.
I mean, the NFC East is a terrible division. It's the worst division in football. We all know that.
Very true.
But the Eagles, and they're a bad team too, right, but they are better than the Cowboys. So I wasn't expecting the Cowboys to win that game. I wasn't expecting them to play well. I wasn't expecting it to be pretty at all. But I was surprised at how bad Philly was. I mean, the first half, the Cowboys were winning 9-7. It was kind of dual action here. They forced Carson Wentz to make some terrible mistakes, but also Carson Wentz made some terrible mistakes all on his own. It was really wild to watch that unfold. Like, wow, the Cowboys are giving the Eagles problems. They're giving Carson Wentz problems. The defense, a unit that going into last week was one of the worst teams as far as giving up rushing yards. And they definitely aren't that great at defending the pass as well. Yeah, Trayvon Diggs has been giving up big plays all year. He's coming up with interceptions, and he's, doing a decent job at corner. I mean, who could have seen that coming? So that was probably the most surprising thing for me. Not the outcome, but the way we arrived there with Dallas winning at halftime. But that offense is just so anemic. They started their third string quarterback, Ben DiNucci. That offensive line, I mean, it's been patched together. It's literally been patched together. They've had to move guys around, and Zach Martin's return definitely helped the Cowboys, definitely helped the running game in particular, which we'll get to later. But just, we knew that with all those issues, there was no shot for them to win that game. But they made it a ball game technically. But, Philly eventually got their act together and scored 16 unanswered points and won 23-9. But that was the biggest takeaway. But the Cowboys defense, though, I mean, they shocked me. They actually played pretty well.
Well, it's funny to hear that because I have all the highlights that come up, and I had no desire to watch the highlights of that game, even though we're playing them. I said, no.
Look, Rob, let me just say it. No one in America wanted that game to be on prime time Sunday.
Oh, my God.
No one wanted that. Yes. We would have much rather the game that you're about to recap
right.
on Sunday night. Yeah. And I promise, I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to a Steelers fan and we're on a Steelers fan show. I was texting people before Sunday.
Right.
Why isn't Pittsburgh Baltimore on Sunday night?
Right.
But I mean, I would have rather LA Miami. I'd have rather Pittsburgh Baltimore. I mean, there's so many games that could have been on Sunday night, and we got Dallas and Philly for no reason at all, other than they're rivals and two big markets, two big TV media markets. That doesn't matter. So what? No one wants to watch this.
Nobody. And I kept
all through it. It was just as bad of a game as advertised.
Yeah. And I kept looking too, because during the week I kept seeing like different Pittsburgh sites that I'm on and different Facebook pages. I was on one Facebook page and a few different sites, and people kept saying, "Why hasn't this game been flexed? Why haven't they moved it?" And I really honestly feel like it comes down to what you said. CBS was not going to let you take that game away and put it on NBC. That's the only reason I thought about it, because I was like, they could flex. We flexed one of our games with like Cincinnati at the end of the season, but not this one.
The NFL, they control that stuff. It is my understanding now. Now, I am not in the rooms.
Right.
And I have not read the contracts, but from what I know about these things, and someone could watch this and be like, nothing. But from what I understand is that the NFL is in charge of that. So they can do that on their own will. Like I said, CBS doesn't have to like it, but they could say, hey, that's going to NBC. That's the Sunday night game.
Man, and I kind of wish they had, because this was a really hard-hitting, great game between the Steelers and the Ravens. It's the game that we always know is going to happen. It's going to be a game where no one is really going to jump out and score a lot of points. And if they do, that means everybody's scoring a lot of points. I think 7 of the last 10 games between these two teams have been settled by 3 points or less. And this game looked like it was going to be one of those games in the second half. Because in the first half, it was a trash game if you're a Steelers fan. It was stressful. We go up early on the third play of the game, get our pick six like the game against Cleveland, and we think, hell yeah, it's about to be one of those games. And we never score again for the entire first half. And Baltimore scores 17 unanswered points and goes into the half ahead 17-7. And then to start the second half, our offense is not doing much. We end up getting a pick in Ravens territory that kind of gets us going. And next thing you know, we score. Now it's 17-14. We get the ball again, and we score. Okay, now it's 21-17. All right, this feels good. Then they come back and score. Now it's 24-21. Then we go down and score 28-24. All right, now all we got to do is stop them, and we do. We have a big fourth down stop because they can't kick a field goal, which was the thing in the Titans game. Titans could have kicked a field goal to tie. The Ravens couldn't because they were down 4. Great. We stop them, and all we need to do is get 1 first down, and this game is over. And we don't get 1 first down. This game is not over, so Baltimore gets the ball again. It ends up coming down to 1 last pass to win the game, and we knock it down. Our defense finally stands up after not standing up the most of the first half, if not all of it, other than that 1 pick six. They gave up 165 yards in the first half, rushing, which is the second, and then ended up giving up 265 yards for the game, which is the second most we've ever given up. But, as I've said on this show before, the Steelers are winning the games they're supposed to win. We made adjustments. We win this game 28-24. We own the number 1 seed, not only in the AFC, but in our division. We are 2 games ahead of the Ravens, and we are in a really good spot. So if you're a Steelers fan, there's been a lot of stress these last 3 weeks. But we've gone through the Browns, the Titans, and the Ravens undefeated, and you got to feel good about that. You absolutely do. So that leads us to this game against the wonderful, highly vaulted Dallas Cowboys, who are coming in off an amazing game.
That sentence would have applied about 42 years ago. This is 1978 Steelers Cowboys. I mean, hey, we can go to 1995, last time they met in the Super Bowl. That would be appropriate, but that ain't appropriate right now. No, sir.
So speaking of the Cowboys, What do the Cowboys need to do to have a chance to win? We all know, if you watch football, that the Cowboys, like Jonathan said very eloquently, they're a bad team in a bad division. I've heard people say that a team that wins 6 games could probably win the NFC East. There are 16 games in a season, and all they have to do is win 6 and lose 10. And they could.
There is a scenario, Rob. Sorry,
no, go ahead.
There's a scenario where the Eagles could win 4 games.
No way.
It's a crazy scenario. I can't remember who brought it up, who introduced it, but my sports director.
Wow.
My sports director was telling me about it. Wow. And I can't remember who did the research and like who crunched the numbers and all that. But there is a scenario. It's out of this world. It's not going to happen. But still, technically, there's a scenario where the first place team could have 4 wins.
That's horrible. That is horrible. So what did the Cowboys? Oh my God, we already have 7 wins. It's so bad. But what do the Cowboys need to do in order to have a chance to win this game, sir?
Short of Jesus Christ himself, physically healing the entire starting offensive line and Dak Prescott, and taking over as head coach and defensive coordinator. Short of that, nothing. But I will say, really, in all seriousness, really the big thing for the Cowboys in this game is you want to shorten the game. Mm-hmm. You want to shorten this game as much as possible. And you do that by running the football. Right. That's really their only hope. When you look at Sunday, there was a stretch against the Eagles in the second half. I believe it was mid-third quarter. They ran the ball, the Cowboys did, about 7 or 8 straight times, and it actually was moderately successful. Now, Philly ended up stopping them. Mm-hmm. But for that stretch, it worked out great for them. It really did. So if they can figure out a way to get some productivity on the ground, because then when you do that, you're moving the ball, you're making the defense tired, and you are staying on the field. You're leaving that defense on the field, and you're controlling the clock. Right. And if the Cowboys can figure out a way to get their time of possession up and just control the game, they've got a shot. That's legitimately the only way they can win this game, because they're not going to do it through the air with Ben DiNucci. He was a third-string quarterback. I don't think people understand. When you're third string, you rarely get reps. So they can't rely on him. No. It's gotta have to be from running the football. Other than that, au revoir. Hello, 2-7.
I feel like we did give up a lot of yards. The Ravens really gassed us.
That's the thing Dallas can exploit, is that Pittsburgh gave up 265 rushing yards, and the Cowboys have 2 very capable backs. So the Cowboys could do some damage to Pittsburgh that way. We saw what Baltimore did. And Baltimore's got a lot of talent. So J.K. Dobbins, very good running back, young guy, of course. But Lamar Jackson, we all know how great of a runner he is. So Pittsburgh, they kind of got hit in the mouth there, and the Cowboys, they can do that as well if they execute it right. They got to be perfect though, because they still got a weak offensive line.
Right, and I'm kind of thinking that that's actually something that makes me feel kind of good about this game, because I do think that with the Steelers getting hit in the mouth last week, they are not going to let that happen again. Especially, it was a wake-up call, because we had stopped Derrick Henry the week before. We knew we had to stop the run against the Ravens. They do that. Lamar Jackson leads the league in yards per attempt. So we knew that they were going to run the ball, and we couldn't stop it. And I think because of that, we have got to stop the run this week, and we can't overlook the Cowboys. If I had to pick a 1-2 thing, it would be do not overlook them, and second is hit them in the mouth. Just like we got hit in the mouth last week, I need 3 and outs their first 3 or 4 drives. I need people on their back. I need, when they do drop back, that they got TJ and Bud in their face all day. We got to jump on them early, and don't give them hope. Do not give them hope. Take that hope away very quickly and strangle it out of them. And if we do that, this is going to be an easy game, and we might be able to rest some people in the second half, which would be great considering our bye week kind of was trashed. So we come to my favorite part of the show. What do you think the end score of this game is going to be?
Well, before I give the score, I just want to say that on Sunday night after the game, I tweeted, and you can follow me at John Thomas TV, at John Thomas TV, no H, JONTHOMAS TV. If you want, don't expect nothing much. But if you want to follow me there, I tweeted, if I'm the Steelers, I'm treating next week like a preseason game, and I'm dead serious. Like, they should say, all right, 1s and 2s, whole first quarter, mid-second quarter. If things are going the way that you want them to go, Rob, where they just strangle out the hope right away, then all right, everybody get out, 3s and 4s, come on in, because I do say it as a diss to the Cowboys, but I also do feel, though, in this time of COVID, you never know what kind of roster you're going to have going forward. So this would be a great game if I'm Pittsburgh to see, okay, let's see how some of these guys, second string, third string, react in different situations in games. And so I think this would be a perfect opportunity for Pittsburgh to find out about those guys and get some questions answered. But I would say that the final score, I believe, and I'm not good at the score thing, but I would say it'll be 30-13 Pittsburgh. I think Dallas will kick 2 field goals and score 1 touchdown. In which order, I have no idea. You're probably hoping for the way I said it, for the order to be the way I said it. It was 2 field goals and then a cheap touchdown at the end. But I think it'll be 30-13 Pittsburgh. That's my prediction.
And I do like that 13. I will be upset if they actually do score 13 points. What I want to see is 4 field goals. We need a game.
You want the heart cut out.
I do. I want us to jump out to 28-point lead and them having no points or maybe 6 points. But I honestly do not want this to be close. Because the thing about an NFL, and we've all seen it, if you let a bad team hang around, that's when things go bad. So we don't want that. I want this game to be 28-12. That's what I want. I want 28 points. I want a few second half field goals, but I want us to jump out.
If it's 12, Rob, it's going to be just like last week for the Cowboys. See, Cowboys fans don't want to hear that. So that means it's going to be Greg Zuerlein, 4 field goals.
That's what I want.
Last week he had 3. This week he has 4. And then, the more diehard morons can go, well, there's some improvement.
Right. But that's what I'm looking for. The Cowboys can be better. Like, they have flashes of it. I don't want to see any flashes this game. I want 28-12. And if they can score less than 12 points, I will absolutely take that. I don't want them to breathe in this game. So that's going to wrap.
Look, Rob, you can breathe easy. Trust me. You'll be okay.
Well, that is going to wrap up our show for today. Jonathan, I really appreciate you joining. I wanted to mention that I haven't had a chance to look at the depth chart because it's Wednesday. We're recording early, but I haven't had a chance to look at the depth chart. But I am concerned about Cam Hayward. He had a sprain last week, and Tyson Alua. Those are our 2 big guys inside, which is why the Baltimore Ravens were able to run on us so much last game. And if we don't have our guys, the Cowboys can do that same thing. If you're able to double team our nose and move some people around, it's possible. But thanks again for joining me, man. I really do appreciate it. I hope that I can get you on here for another team, but I'm actually starting to get people ahead of time. I feel all proud of myself.
Whenever you want to, you just let me know. You let me know. Again, unless you watch this back, you go. But if you don't do that, if you're somewhat satisfied with that, I'll jump on anytime. No problem.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
We'll talk again soon. Well, that is all for today's show. I want to thank Jonathan once again for joining me this week. And for all of you, the viewers who tune in every week to watch the show, I absolutely appreciate it, and it means so much to me. And I really hope you guys will tune in next week when we discuss the Steelers and those Cincinnati Bengals and our first matchup with them of this season. These aren't the same Marvin Lewis Bengals, and Joe Burrow and that team over there actually look like they have a good thing on their hands, and they could be moving towards something special. Hopefully not against us, but against all the other teams in the NFL. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, and I will see you right here next week on The Rebuttal. Take care.